Another Edge Pro video. This one we're going to talk again about clipper maintenance. Today's tool that we're going to look at is the WAHL Detailer. This tool has been around several years. This one in particular is kind of the original design with the cord. Then, oh gosh, it's been what, 2 years maybe? Nearly 3 now. I think it was in 2019 that they released the cordless version of the Detailer. So we're just going to look at some of the strengths and weaknesses of these tools and what we should be doing daily to take care of them. If I'm a barber, a stylist in the shop, and I am thinking about the first thing that I could do to make this tool last and perform correctly would be our blade cleaner and our oil. So most of our video content when it comes to clippers, we talk about how we are going to take care of our blade. Now this content again was covered in another video that we did that was clipper repair, and then in parentheses says cordless. And so we're going to talk in that video a lot about why the ins and outs maybe of taking care of the blade and the overall tool and how that affects the battery and motor in the tool. But what I want to just look at real quick here is how would I maintain this if I'm the barber in the chair again, or the stylist. If I'm using the tool and I notice that we have performance change, it's really not making our lines or cutting in the way we want, I'm going to go ahead first and take my cleaner and I'm just going to do small spritzes. Now as you do that, we get a little bit of that cleaner in there, you'll hear the tool a lot of times speed up and smooth out. If that starts bringing back your performance, that's all you really need to do at this point. But what will typically happen if we've got things that are really sticky and chunked up due to things that start slowing down a blade, which are the human oils, wax from shampoo, other foreign materials like different hair products that the gels and whatnot that we're going to use to spike hair and all those different styles, along with anything that might have been in their hair, that especially if you don't do a hair or a washing of the hair before the haircut. So construction waste, so sawdust, concrete dust, all those things come in and make really good glue with the oil that's in the blade. What I've done with the cleaner is I come in and I start rinsing that out. Now there, I did a little bit more and you heard the whole blade change sound. So there was something sticking in there. Sometimes that's just a clipper that we put away for a while and gotten back out. And in that time that we had it put away, the oil congealed and it got thick. What we're going to do just by that little spritzing of the blade is we're going to loosen that back up so that the blade has full stroke. Now, if I decided that when the cleaner flashed off or dried, the performance dropped right back down, we know we need to add blade oil. So to do that, I'm going to come up. I've got my bottle just barely opened, and I'm only going to put a drop, maybe 2, to help lubricate along the rail with the teeth. Then I want to come to the side and put a drop that's going to go and hit the back rail of the blade. So it's a little bit hidden in this case, but boy, did you hear that quiet down. I'm going to come to the other corner, and again, a single drop to make sure it gets in there. And then I would typically have a towel here and I would wipe off that excess. Because again, that's probably something you don't want to streak into your client's hair. It is mineral oil, it's not going to hurt anything, but it'll leave that shiny, oily look. So we'll wipe up the excess and we're right back to our style. So that in itself is just the basic as you work kind of maintenance. Sometimes I get asked, well, how often should I do that? One, if you work with these tools every day, you hear what the tool sounds like when it's performing correctly. Also, you know how it should be performing in the hair. If any of that is starting to hamper, let's start with a little spritz of the spray, see if that brings back the performance, and again, follow with oil if it doesn't. Obviously, there's a point at which we're not going to have it working anymore. The blade is dull. It got into something. Maybe again, that guy came in off of a construction site and he had a lot of concrete dust in his hair. Well, how do you think we're going to dull that blade fast? We're going to put abrasive into it. So that would knock your edges off, and it's time to switch out blades. If we were going to do that, we would want to take our 2 screws out to hold the blade onto the tool. So we're just going to back those screws out, lay those aside, and now we have the internal side. Now this particular blade does have a couple features of a slide guide, and it's a plastic component in here that actually controls where the cutter is going to sit to the comb. Then we have two screws that then when we loosen those, it allows this cutter to be adjustable. In another content video, we will talk about zero gaps and how to set the blade. That kind of content and whatnot is very important to daily use. Again, not always are you going to have a professional person that works with blades only right at your disposal. You need to be able to do this yourself. So we're going to look at that content. When I have the cover off, one of the components that it's under here is this white plastic part, and sometimes even in the detailers they're gray. This is the drive. So if we turn the clipper on while the blade's off, that's what's moving back and forth to give you stroke. Eventually, this plastic part is going to get wear in it against the drive stem of the motor. And so that part itself will need replaced. It is a very replaceable component. Along with the idea underneath it is the spring that gives tension to the blade. But if we go to change that part, again, you may want a professional to do this. So your sharpener, repair person, it is something that we do at the Edge Pro very often. And we, on the animal division of WAHL, they have what they call master service centers. We are credentialed with the factory that way. On the Barber Beauty side of the company, they still really, well, did you see that? That is what happens really common, is that when we take the screws loose, that drive, because it's under spring tension, flies away. I'm going to go grab it, because this time I saw where it landed. Now at my workstation, there are probably 100 of these that are disappeared, hidden into a box, on the floor, underneath a shelf, somewhere that I haven't found yet. So someday when I really thoroughly clean, I'll have like Christmas and I'll have a whole bunch of these. But that is something we want to watch. So typically when I go to take these screws out, I want to keep my hand over that so I can control where it flies instead of it disappearing. Though that does make for a little more fun adventure as you're looking for it. When I go to put the new drive in, as this slides in here, it lays on top of the two springs that will control the blade tension. But if you can see down inside, and I'm going to point to this, right down in here, there's a little shelf or ledge in the housing that keeps it from going the rest of the way in. So what I need to do is separate the housing very slightly, raise it up here, so that when I push down on this, there is the eccentric drive for the motor right here, and we want it to go into the slot on this driver, or the actual term is called cam follower. So I'm going to lay this in, make sure it goes over that stem, right down in here. I'm going to make sure it goes over the stem and below that little ledge in the housing. When I do, I'm going to pinch the housing back together, and it keeps it in place while I put the screws back in. Now if I let go, that's going to shoot out of there again. So I'm going to go ahead and get our screws back in place so that it stays and we don't shoot it across the room a second time. Because though it's toward the end of our week this time that I'm shooting this video, I don't want to push my luck for losing stuff. So there, now that it's in, that'll stay in place and we won't have to worry about losing it, and we can install our blade back onto the tool. If that's a new blade, you've gone through the effort to gap the front of the blade the way you need for your skill level and the different styling that you're trying to do with it. So again, if we're, let me get that drop down there. We get that back in place. Now, the nice thing is with the cordless unit, again, obviously no cord, the blade is the same replacement blade between the two tools. There are a couple different options. You've got your standard 5-star blade, and then you also have a T-wide. And both of these are T-wides. The standard blade is a little bit narrower, about 3/8 of an inch narrower than what this bigger blade is. So depending on how you want to do your design work and whatnot, you can pick which one you prefer. But they all interchange back and forth. The zero gapping side of it, all the same, and it uses the same driver underneath the cover that was on the corded version. So a lot of good positives about how you can do this maintenance yourself and get those parts. If you're not comfortable taking those components out, if you want, or if there's a bigger repair issue, you're going to definitely need a professional that has the parts and capability to repair it. With that, that's most of our content for this tool, and hope that was helpful. Again, if you've got more questions around this type of tool or others, and you want to indicate that in our comments, you can let us know, and we can shoot content and the maintenance side for these tools. If you've got other questions about the detailers, be sure and ask again below. So thank you for your attention.